active versus passive mobility and which one might be appropriate for what you need and why. So I love both active and passive mobility, but I have to say I'm a much bigger fan of active mobility whenever possible. Passive means you are passively taking your body into a position, meaning your muscles are not working to create that range of motion. Passive mobility could be somebody like me, a physical therapist, moving you into position, chiropractic, massage. Passive range of motion creation versus active, where you use your muscles to move into a range. Now, I find the body likes to feel safe. The body likes to know that when it moves into a range, that you have the muscular control to support that range. If you don't create that muscular support, then it just goes right back down to locking up. So you might have noticed that. You might have relied on several methods of creating passive mobility, meaning getting the range without using your muscles to do it. And then maybe the next day or the next week, you're back down to locked and the range didn't hold. So that's why I love active mobility. But sometimes if our active mobility is limited, we need passive to help us get the range, but then that's why I love following it with active mobility. All right, so let's take a look at an example of this that I think will be pretty simple and straightforward. So if I lie back on the foam roller and I stretch my mid-back area and relax back, I'm creating passive mobility in my spine. Now, if I come here onto my hands and knees and I think about maybe rotating open, I'm using serratus here. I'm using back muscles and I am using my strength to create a range of motion or rotation range of motion in my spine. So this would be an example of an active exercise. So I would do some of those, maybe following a passive exercise to help hold the range and help my body see like, oh wow, she actually does have the scapular support system to support our spine moving, and then my body will feel safe in that range and it's more likely to hold the range. All right, so think about that. When you think about your workout program or you think about your rehab protocol, how much of it is active, meaning your muscles move you into it, and how much of it is passive, and try to think about shifting your program more into an active motion or active front than staying mostly in that passive mobility creation to see if you don't get better, more lasting results.